Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Chargers Analytics with Arjun. This one's not going to be as happy, as positive as the episodes before, just because obviously a pretty bad loss versus the Ravens. But I do think it's important to look and realize that this team is 4-2 and just played probably one of the most insane 6 game stretches of any team this year so far. So going 4-2 was honestly something I wasn't expecting. I would have been happy if we went 2-4, if I'm being honest, given the opponents we played with a new like having a new head coach, new systems and everything. But going 4-2 is nothing to be ashamed of. And losing to the Ravens, I mean, like, I don't know what everyone's expectations were, but this is a really good Ravens team. Despite all the injuries, despite losing Marcus Peters, I know running backs don't really matter, but Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins were two of the most efficient running backs of the past 2 years. And Dobbins did that as a rookie. So this is a very, very good Ravens team, and Lamar Jackson is playing MVP ball right now. So it's really nothing to be like too worried about, in my opinion. I do think, so many people just jumped off the Chargers train after the loss. And it's like, why? This is a good Ravens team. I would like to point out, though, I think I mentioned this in my Browns recap video last week, but I do think I thought I mentioned about how Justin Herbert wasn't playing like as good as people were thinking, but I do think the Chargers became a little bit overrated when it came to people like ranking them after the Browns game. And I'm only saying that because, I don't think the defense is that good, if I'm being honest. And it's something that I'm pretty surprised about. I thought this defense would have been legit, but they just haven't been that good. The Browns really exposed them on the ground. The Ravens did the same thing. But another aspect is I don't think this offense has been, that amazing. Like, I think they're still the Chargers have a chance to be elite, but they're not there right now. And even after the Browns game, people were putting them in that elite category. Like, they're not playing like the Bills, Chiefs, Bucks, Packers, Ravens. Like, those are the elite teams. The Chargers are a very good tier 2 team. And that's nothing to be ashamed about, because in the end, everyone wants to trade for Akeem Hicks and Grady Jarrett and Fletcher Cox and all that. The Chargers are only going to do that if they're all like if they're in a win now, go for it this year mode. And I don't think they are. Usually that happens in year 3 of a rookie quarterback deal. They did the Cardinals did that with Kyler Murray, trading for JJ or signing JJ Watt, getting AJ Green, all the veteran free agents. And then the Bills did that last year, trading for Stephon Diggs, right? So there's nothing to really be ashamed about that if they're not going all in this year. They're still legit playoff contenders. Like, they're probably going to make the playoffs, but a Super Bowl run, I really don't know how likely it is. But like I said, I still wanted to bring up some data points in this video and just talk about some stuff. The two things I'll be focusing on is the run defense, just a little bit, and not going to get too much into it, but also Joe Lombardi. And I don't think Joe Lombardi has been good this year. Contrary to opinion, I think people have said he's called a good game. He's called a good game in certain games, but I think the Ravens really exposed the Chargers for who they are, which is a really good football team that is really good at times where they're not supposed to be really good. So let me jump into some stuff. So I brought this up in my last video, but this is looking at how often NFL teams secure a new series of downs. So pretty much, when are they converting first downs? And I brought up how the Chargers were converting first downs 31% of the time on third and fourth downs, which was tied, I believe, with the Texans, with the bottom for the highest in the league. Now, the highest in the league on third and fourth downs. So while it is very good that they were third in the league through weeks 1 through 5 at converting first downs on every series, doing it on third and fourth downs alone isn't the way to do it. You need to be doing it on first and second down, which is something that the Chargers haven't been able to do. They haven't been a good first down offense. And I'm going to be showing some clips. I looked into the all 22 and, have some stuff for you guys, but it hasn't been good. And I think this is ultimately on Joe Lombardi. And it comes from this philosophy. I'm not sure if I agree with it. It's, his offense, he always called it a matchup based offense. We want to get our guys one-on-ones, and we want to let our playmakers just, do whatever they want. They have option routes. They have, if you want to slant, you want an out, you want to zit a dig, you want to slant and go, whatever you think is the best way for you to beat your man. That's what we want you to do. But the problem with that is it's so reliant on these playmakers to make plays that in the end, it's if the playmakers don't get open, then what is Justin Herbert going to do? Because really, there is not really many other options outside of Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Like Jared Cook has had his good games, but he's also been like shut out of game plans. And so I don't really think Joe Lombardi's done a great job so far. I think the Ravens really showed some weaknesses, especially the Chargers being able to diagnose blitzes and those exotic fronts. Now, how many teams have a defensive personnel and defensive packages like the Ravens with all those exotic fronts? Not very many teams. Like the Patriots may like they might do that, but it's more of like the Ravens cover zero type thing. The Dolphins do the same thing, but they're more from the Belichick tree. So I think Ravens did a great job. John Harbaugh is an excellent coach. Like he's probably going to be in the Hall of Fame at some point, right? So, not too worried about the offense, but I am a little bit worried about Joe Lombardi and, kind of his first down play calling, which I'll bring up after this. Just wanted to talk about the rush defense. Yes, now the Chargers are officially last in rush EPA allowed. Only the Chiefs are, they're second worst. So you have two AFC West teams, and I don't really know what to think about it. Like they were missing Nasir Adderley, Tranquil, Kenneth Murray, and Justin Jones, four guys who really would impact the run defense. Now, how much would it impact? I don't know. Like I don't know the true value of those four players in this specific defense, just because we don't have a large enough sample size to go off of. If we look at the rushing success rate, so the success rate means anytime a play has over a 1 EPA or anytime a play generates a positive EPA, that's considered a success. So teams are having a positive EPA in 53% of their plays when they run the ball against the Chargers, which is absurd. And I don't know what it is. And I think ultimately it goes back to it goes back to the light boxes, right? Like Staley wants to play these light boxes, and he wants to stop the run, but in the end, they don't have the personnel to do this. And if you can see my screen right now as it's loading, I thought this was an amazing tweet by Benjamin Solak. Like 2 weeks into the season, the Chargers just lack the defensive front talent to get away with running light boxes in the run game. They just don't have the guys up front. Like you're relying on Linval Joseph to do most of the dirty work, and then you have three undrafted free agents playing at times. Like against the Browns, they had Fehoko, Merrill, and Gaziano. Like I understand there's potential with Merrill or there's potential with Fehoko. These guys are undrafted for a reason. I'm sorry to say it, but like that's just how it is, right? Like you need the guys you drafted, the guys you signed in free agency to step up and make plays against the run. Obviously, Jerry Tillery hasn't been great either. Not going to get too much into him at all, actually. But yes, Chargers haven't been good against the run. They still have been above average at stopping the pass, which is a good sign. And I mean, the Browns, the Ravens, and the Cowboys are three of the top rushing attacks in the league. So them struggling versus those three offenses, yes, it's concerning, but it's not as concerning as like if they struggled versus the Raiders or if they struggled big time versus like Washington, right? Now they do play the Patriots, who have some mean offensive linemen on their team. They're going to play the Vikings soon after that. So, it's going to be a test. Like, how much will Justin Jones and Kenneth Murray impact the run defense? I don't really know. But, that's all for that. I don't really want to go too much into how bad they've been. Let's talk about this Chargers offense and Joe Lombardi especially. Okay. That's not working. Sorry for that, guys. I was trying to make it full screen, but it's not working. But I think you should be able to see it in full screen on your side. So the third and fourth down offense against the Ravens was horrible. And I thought the first down offense was on par to that. And what I mean by that is like they just weren't doing things that made sense. And in the end, third and fourth down success isn't something that's really that sustainable because defenses do have the advantage on third and longs. And that means like they can run stunts, they can, show whatever they want because they have time that the quarterback has to drop back and wait an extra second because they have to get the ball past 9-10 yards. Now, was Joe Lombardi doing good on third and fourth downs before this game? Yeah. Like I thought he was calling awesome plays on third and fourth downs to get some of his receivers open. But like I said before, it seems like it's just a matchup based offense and it just doesn't make sense. Like let's run through this play, right? So this is like this is like the fourth down, I believe. Fourth and one. What are we doing? Why are we throwing to Josh Palmer up here? Okay, now it should be working. Why are we throwing to Josh Palmer when he's guarded by Marlon Humphrey? Why? I'm so confused why we're throwing to Josh Palmer. Like we have Keenan Allen on the field. This is supposed to be, Keenan Allen hasn't been as productive as he's been in previous years. And like he's mainly been a third and fourth down guy. Why are we putting him as like it seems like a decoy where he's surrounded by four guys? And we're throwing to Josh Palmer against Marlon Humphrey. And the worst part is like look at the route he's running. He's running a 4-yard hitch. What sense does that make? Like I just didn't understand the play call there. And you're throwing to a rookie receiver against one of the best cornerbacks in the league. I was genuinely surprised by that play call. Now let's go to this one. This one is also, I believe it's 4th and 2 here, right? So again, Mike Williams on Humphrey. Down here, down here you see, okay, actually you can't see that because my screen sharing paused. Kinks. Okay, my bad, guys. So you can see here, Mike Williams or Humphrey on Mike Williams, Anthony Averett on Keenan Allen. And they throw another 4 or 5 yard hitch. I don't know about you guys, but it seems like a hitch route on 4th down just doesn't seem like the optimal play call. Like a hitch route is so dependent on the cornerback believing that you're going to take off deep, that he's playing off. But if you only need 2 yards for the first down, they know you're going to throw it quick. So Humphreys didn't bite at all. He's on Mike Williams. And like I said before, Marlon Humphrey is one of the best cornerbacks in the game. You guys know that Anthony Averett has given up the 3rd most yards in the league. He's given up 395 receiving yards from weeks 1 through 6. Look who he's guarding. He's guarding Keenan Allen one-on-one. And I guess the safety here is shading over to help, but then he has Guyton wide open in the middle. So like I said, I think this was a bad play call by Lombardi because it does seem like he wants to get it to Mike Williams, but also this is Justin Herbert's fault that he has Guyton wide open in the middle on 4th down, but he's so fixated on, okay, we need to get it to Keenan, we need to get to Mike, that he just doesn't see the wide open guys. Guyton was open. Okay, and I'm sure Keenan could have beat Averett off the line. I think the safety was bracketing Keenan there, but then you're going to have someone open. So targeting Marlon Humphrey on 2 4th downs just doesn't make sense. Because, okay, so the reason like I'm disappointed is because like look at this. So this is the first play of the game, and we had Keenan Allen wide open on this play, 11 yards. Look at the beginning. It was on Anthony Averett. We were in a stack formation, right? Like Anthony Averett's not that good. He's not. He's given up the 3rd most receiving yards in the league. But we're deciding to target Marlon Humphrey 7 times, which seems like a very anti-analytics thing, which is surprising because Staley has preached that he looks into the analytics and all the matchups. Plays like this is a good play, but this is one of the few times I feel like Lombardi's actually called a good play on first down, because if we go to this play then, right, like this was another first and 10. I just don't understand what the play concept is here, and just a bad throw by Herbert here, obviously. But like if we run through what each player is doing, right? You got Mike at the top. So Mike, he's just running. He just gets destroyed by Humphrey there. Keenan at the bottom, he has a one-on-one, smokes Averett off the line, which he can do all game. Averett obviously caught back up, but like in this situation, right? You have Keenan one-on-one. Why I feel like motioning Guyton over is just dumb, because then you're just bringing more congestion onto Keenan. Guyton's running a wheel ride doesn't work, and Cook's just running like a dig or something, or like a slant, basically like just a 5 yard in or something, and it just doesn't, nothing's there. And I mean, that's just a couple samples of what the first and second down, or the first and second down offensive look like. Hasn't been too pretty, and even the stats will back that up. They haven't been that good on the first and second down. So that's pretty much it. I don't think Lombardi's been that great. The stats will back that up. They haven't been good on first and second down. They've been amazing on third and fourth down, but you can't just rely on getting the third and fourth and long and expecting your quarterback to bail you out, because over the course of the season, that type of variance, it's gonna hit you at some point. And the Ravens showed that. The Ravens have a very good defense, led by a pretty good defensive play caller, and they were able to stop the Chargers on those money downs. So, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you don't want to overreact too much, because this team is 4-2. Luckily, they haven't had injuries to too many key players, but hopefully the bye gets back some of the main guys, Tranquil, K9, Jones, and Adderley. And hopefully the offense gets back on track, because that was not a pretty game plan that they showed against the Ravens. So it's going to be it for today's episode. Thank you for watching. If you made it to the end and sticking through the video with some technical difficulties on the video side. But yeah, with that, as always, what's up?